All right, all right. We are live. So today we're gonna go over everything that we did for, I guess that was announced for PowerCon 2025. So back up a little bit. Epique Realty, we have an annual conference called PowerCon. I think last year it was in Las Vegas. This year it was in Nashville, Tennessee, and it was a phenomenal event. So had an amazing time, met so many people, and connected with just a lot of great humans. So that was really refreshing, great networking opportunity, and really enjoyed everything that we had to announce. It was a lot of things going on. So with Epique Realty, we have a ton of benefits already. We have I think it was 72 or 73 total before the event, and now I think we're up to 93, which is wild. So it's gonna be fun to go over what we have going on, and I think all right, Trey's in the house. How's it going, man?
Hey, good. Can you hear me okay?
Hey, good. Can you hear me okay? All right, hold on one second. I'm gonna. Ah. Rick
Hey, can you hear me all right?
Take over here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So I was just going over just kind of a background of what happened, where we're at. Haven't got into anything yet, but if you want to do a quick introduction of yourself, Trey, thanks for hopping on.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having me. My name is Trey Salinas. I am the principal director for Epic Estates, which is our new luxury collection that we just launched at Epic. So happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You can see I got my new kind of podcast studios on its way getting set up, but I'm
Yeah.
still adjusting like lights and sound. So I apologize, guys, whoever's watching. Um, so we're gonna get right into it. We don't have much time. Just yeah, Chelsea's on. How's it going, Chelsea? She's out of Houston. So PowerCon, like I said, we did it last week. We're gonna do into a recap of what we had to announce. So let's see here. So kicking it off, Trey, you kind of already did your introduction, but I know we did what was announced, Epic Estates. So from what I understand in the conversation we've had is that this is a whole new approach to luxury. We're not trying to, become the Live Sotheby's. We're not trying to become another brokerage that's already well established in the luxury arena. And I think we're going to try to add more value and things like that. So I'd love to hear kind of your take on what's going to happen with Epic Estates moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. You're totally right. I think that when I met with Josh and Janice and Chris, our main goal here was like, we're not looking to compete with old luxury of the world. Right? We're looking to sort of start something brand new. And we don't really want to go by tradition as much as we really want to just make sure in true Epic fashion that we are just the most agent centric luxury position brokerage in the world, right? In the country right now, and hopefully in the world. And so, what that means for us is we want to give tangible resources, right? Materials, curated assets, and tools that an agent can utilize if they're already transacting in luxury. And for those who are looking to step into luxury transactions. And so, what that means for us is not prestige, but it just means performance, strategy, scale, right? And so we're looking at like a pillared approach. And so we're looking at different pillars that we're going to have for luxury. And one of them, of course, being our luxury dashboard, right? Where we have the ability to access anything and everything that you need, right? It's your command center. It's going to be very aesthetically pleasing and beautifully designed for you to operate within as the agent. But also, it's going to come fully integrated with a luxury CRM and SEO optimized luxury website, all customized to your brand. We're going to have a global listing portal, which we're really, really excited about. The global listing portal is broker agnostic. So all types of different brokerages from across the world have the ability to put their listings into that portal. Something unique about the portal is like, this is not a search engine. All right. So this is not for agents to send to their clients to look for international listings. This is for an agent to go into the portal and better understand what's out there. Is there anything that I could co-market? I go to Cabo every year. All my friends and family go to Cabo. Can I co-market a listing in Cabo because my reach extends there, right? And then vice versa.
Right.
I have this wonderful chateau in, Aspen, and I would love to go ahead and get it into the listing portal and make sure that that gets pushed out, to the world, right? So true global reach from that perspective. We're really excited about that. And then within that dashboard, a luxury design center and a referral network and really a curated vendor marketplace where we're going to have partnerships that you can utilize in order to help you in your business. So that's kind of just one of the 4 pillars we're looking at. But super excited about that. Hopefully I haven't lost anybody yet. You have any questions, or could I sort of move on to the next few things?
Yeah, you can go ahead. I think what's cool about this is that the owners are they're flexible. They have a great vision, and they're able to say, hey, for example, if this doesn't make sense or it doesn't work, they're open to changing it. And I think that's the foundation of this company, is that they want to make sure the agents are happy. They want to make sure that whether you're a brand new agent or you're coming into the company as a top producer luxury agent, that you can thrive in this area, wherever you're at, right? So, but yeah, please continue.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the next thing is we are building out a luxury certification, and this is not a certification just to like hang another trophy on your wall or just say, oh, I'm Epique Estates Luxury Certified, but more so it's an opportunity for training, and not training that's 20 years old, right? This isn't a certification you're going to pay for annually. It's not a certification that you're going to pay for at all. It's going to be completely free. We do not want to monetize it. And it's professionally filmed. It's incredibly interactive and immersive. And it's there twofold. One, for training, and two, it's also there as an alternative pathway to joining luxury should you not be able to organically qualify to be a part of Epique Estates. So super
Right.
excited about that. And then one of the other things I always like to bring up is just the Luxury Lab, an educational suite. It's a complete LMS just for us. It's positioned just like Earth to Orbit. We're utilizing a lot of similar software there. And it's going to be where we really hold all of our luxury masterminds. We're going to have all of our premium training content there, any downloadable tools, scripts, visuals, checklists, just really anything that's going to help you in growing into luxury. So we're really excited about that. We're also going to have the ability there to be mentors or mentees, and run an annual mentorship program. So I think we're feeling like we're in a really good place with the educational side of being in luxury.
Yeah. Crystal Thompson, shout out to our Colorado area broker. She's out of Denver, by the way, but I think you met her at the conference. But she's asking, do you have any parameters yet for what's considered qualifying luxury?
Yeah, Crystal, you're amazing, by the way, and loved hanging out with you. Not just at PowerCON, but at Shareholders. We could have some incredible events in Colorado. So if you're not in Colorado, maybe you get licensed here. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yes, there are some good parameters. So the parameters are, we would like you to have closed 3 or more transactions at twice your market average in the past 24 months. So,
Okay.
here in like the Denver metro area, I'm also in Colorado, roughly 650K in the Denver metro is like our average price point. So we're really looking for you to have closed, 3 or more transactions at like that 1.3 million or above marker. If you don't qualify organically, again, the alternative pathway is to take our certification, which is for free, and you can still gain access to luxury should you.
Yeah, that was huge. Yeah, she says very, very achievable, which I think is great, because I think traditionally there's been a big gap between traditional agents and luxury agents. It's like their own kind of set apart, but I don't think there is that. Everyone's capable, I guess, of reaching that if they set their goals in place and everything. So, love what
Yeah,
we're doing with that piece.
I think just an important piece there, and that what makes a big difference for us is that we want to grow luxury agents. We don't want to just say we have the best luxury agents. We're not trying to put parameters in there to just say we have the best luxury agents, we have the most exclusive luxury agents, because we will have those, and that's great. But our goal here is like, we don't want to create a ton of barriers to entry for luxury, especially because a lot of agents really, they want to take that next step into luxury, and they're just good agents who transact at a high volume in general. So our goal here is we're not going to be we're not going to hover over the brands and be like, oh no, don't put that listing under Epique Estates, and don't do this, and let's protect the brand identity. Our goal here is, if you're an agent at Sotheby's and you sell $1 million homes, but you get a $650,000 listing, they don't tell you not to take it, right? They say, do
True.
business. That's your
Yeah.
job, right? And it doesn't matter what the price point is. If you curated that business, take it, do it. And that's kind of what we're about. We're not going to just sit here and I guess you can say like, block or try to make sure that the brand upholds a certain standard. The brand is going to do that naturally. Agents are going to try to enter luxury. Many of them are going to be successful. Many of them are not, right? And so the brand will speak for itself in the long term.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's huge. Do you have any other, I guess, input or anything else? Time frame for rolling it out? I know the wait lists. You can, if you're an Epic agent, you can sign up to get on the wait list. And what's the process after that?
Yeah, so once you're on the wait list, kind of what we're doing is shortly we'll launch an email out thanking everybody for joining the wait list. We'll start to push out information on updates, right? Things that we're achieving in the process. Our goal here, anticipated launch, would be like early winter. Like, I'm really targeting like a Thanksgiving or right after Thanksgiving approach. Don't quote me on that though. I'm actually hoping to have it open sooner. Anyone who's on the wait list, the moment we have it in beta form, we will launch it. You'll get full access to it. You'll enjoy all the benefits before anybody else. So we'll probably close the wait list here in about a week or two. We had an incredible amount of people. I think we had like 300 something people join within like the first 15 minutes of opening the wait list. So that was wonderful.
Wow.
So if you haven't yet, jump on there, put your name on the wait list. The wait list is non-committal. It doesn't mean you have to. It just means you're interested enough to receive more information from us. We'll push as much information as we can to you about how we're progressing. And then when we open up, if you're ready to take that step with us, by all means, we're so excited to have you. If not, no worries. You got all the information and then maybe decided it wasn't for you. That's okay.
Yeah, no, I think that's key, because I've done, if I'm being completely transparent, I think I've done $1 million transaction. So I'm not considered a luxury agent, but I want to start to venture into that, that discipline, just because, well, there's a lot of reasons, but I'm not going to limit myself just because I haven't done it yet. I signed up on the wait list. I'm going to start getting information like you guys are going to start providing. And at that point, I can make a decision whether or not it makes sense for my business. And I think that would be huge for anybody considering future luxury opportunities, is like, hey, go out there, make yourself vulnerable, start to learn, educate yourself. And that way, when the time is right, you'll have a little bit more preparation. So
yeah, absolutely. And probably the last thing I just want to share real quick, and not take up too much of your time, but just to let everybody here know, is that Josh is very, very, very much so driving the luxury leads conversation. Luxury leads are so hard to come by, and not many companies have been able to consistently provide luxury leads outside of maybe some of your elite brokerages that really just rub shoulders with the right people, right? But us being the most tech-forward, AI-driven brokerage out there, we are tackling the luxury leads position from a brokerage standpoint. And so, with that being said, our biggest focus is how can we provide members leads? The most amount of leads, the best quality leads, but luxury leads overall, right? And so what I always tell people is, if you were to get a luxury lead, are you positioned to close that lead, right? Are you positioned to close that listing appointment? Are you positioned to show them houses? Do you have the appropriate materials? Are you positioned luxury? And I think our goal here is to make sure that you are, and then of course, provide you as many of those leads as possible so that you can step into it.
Love it. Love it.
Trey,
So,
can we talk a
Crystal,
little bit
people on
into
this call get VIP, right? Yeah.
Of course, Crystal, come on.
Yeah. Hey,
Hey,
Farrah.
Brandon, Trey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
hear you very well. Yeah, absolutely, man.
Perfect.
You want
Trey,
to do
can
a
you
quick
go?
introduction first before you ask your question? so people who
Perfect.
know
Yep.
who you
I am
are.
Farron Pereira, and I'm out of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. I've been with Epic for a year and 3 months, and I am loving it. Trey, we met at the PowerCon. Great meeting you. And Brandon's decided to host this call, and it was what a great opportunity to delve a little bit deeper into some of these topics that we went over during the PowerCon. So really looking forward to luxury. My question is, can you dive a little bit deeper into existing benefits and also future benefits that may tie in with the luxury program that's going to be getting launched? Like what's already like in the works that you guys are planning on connecting into Epic Luxury, Epic Estates, and then what's going to be rolled out in the future potentially for either exclusively for luxury or others that may tie into luxury in the future that's also available for non-luxury.
Yeah, I think I'll start exclusive to luxury because some of our partnerships may evolve into being open and readily available for the masses, but they may just be starting with luxury right now, sort of as like a beta test to make sure that the partnerships are fruitful, right? Probably the number one thing is within our dashboard, some of the offerings that we have. So, elevated CRM system. We're already going to provide SEO. We're going to provide calling and texting packages within that. This will all come free with your luxury membership, right? We also provide everyone, if you haven't had access to Graphic yet, like jump in there. It's freaking amazing. The curated template assets that you have access to, I mean, they can really grow and drive a thriving business. And so we have partnered with Graphic as well to curate a whole different templated class of assets and materials that we can utilize. In addition, we've also partnered with vendors who can make items that you're going to need for your listing appointments, right? And so that can be anything from, business cards, from folders to, listing presentation booklets, pamphlets, as well as like video boxes if you really prefer to get, that on the up and up with it. In addition to that, we are going to be providing a slew of benefits that are going to add on to your current benefits. Probably like the easiest one to speak to is like everybody gets a free car wash right now, right? Anyone who's within luxury is not just going to get the free car wash, but they're going to get the car wash, the wax, and the interior done just because you're a part of luxury. So there'll be a lot of small things that we've looked at all of our 92 benefits and said, okay, first and foremost, is there a step that we can take to, increase these benefits just for being luxury? And any of those that we can take, we're going to take. So I think there will be a ton from that perspective in already existing benefits. And then there will be some more. For instance, we're really going to focus on what we can provide when it comes to listing photography, videography, and drone footage, and all being a part of the package on the listing side. So we actually have a lot that are set into place. The question is right now, and I don't think we've determined this 100%, is like, which ones are we going to launch right away? And which ones are we going to leave for sort of this like build up? And in true Epic fashion, we're not going to just launch 92 benefits and be like, here you go. Hope you enjoy it. Like, I think our goal here is like, can we launch 25 benefits and then, maybe give it 6 months, give it a year, and then launch, another 10, 15, 20 benefits that are really going to help the agents. The hardest part about jumping into Epic as a whole, and I think jumping into really any brokerage that has a generous amount of benefits, is like adoption, right? So I've been a part of divisions before in the past where we have some great items, and most of the agents were like, oh yeah, you know what? I haven't even logged into that portal yet, but I will someday, and literally all they're doing is using the logo, So I think adoption is going to be key here. We want people to be able to adopt, and in order to do that, we really need to present all of the benefits in like a timely fashion so that people can actually utilize them, try them, see how they like them, and then we can also get some good feedback. This is going to be something that evolves, and we really want to make sure it's best in class. So in order to do that, we have to get feedback from the agents to better understand what's happening. And so sorry if you're hearing all of this amazing background, but little construction going on in the background.
No, you're good. You're good. I definitely appreciate. We do have to keep it going. We've got about 19 other things to talk about today. I'm super excited for luxury, and we'll keep an eye out on what's coming up next, and keep a look for that email coming out. So Thank you, Trey. Appreciate it. You can absolutely hang out if you want to. If not, I can go back to the construction site. So,
Yeah, thank you guys so
so
much for having me. I'm gonna jump, so it doesn't get too crazy back here, but I
no
really appreciate
worries.
it. And then feel free, my contact information is there. I'd love to hear from
Yep,
everybody.
absolutely. Have a good day, man. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
See
Take
ya.
it, Trey.
Awesome. All right, let's keep it going. All right, so next one up, we're gonna like speed through this, but I want to make sure that I respect y'all's time. We got about 40 minutes, but I want to leave some time for some questions as well. I can see the questions coming in on the side, so feel free to post them. So the one big one that kind of like they announced it, and I think it didn't like nobody like realized what had just happened. So I did, well, in my case, anyways, my perspective. Maybe I was just talking too much with other people in the background, but anyway, so we're now open in 50 states. So we are in national brokerage, completely national. I know some of the states are still, nascent, they're growing. So there's going to be some learning curve. There's going to be some stuff like that. But any brokerage that, is doing well is going to have some hiccups along the way. Right. So that's huge. And then on top of that, I'm also part of the international committee, and we've had the opportunity to go and interview expansion leaders in other countries. And our first country that we're going live, and I want to say we're officially open as of yesterday, but we haven't heard an official announcement in terms of like, hey, here's where the agents can actually start going. I know there's an LOI. If you're interested in anything on the Canadian side, reach out. But the Greater Toronto area is our first market that we're opening up in Canada. So we're not open entirely in Canada. We're open in the Ontario, and then specifically GTA, which is the Greater Toronto area. So that's super exciting. We are interviewing already expansion leaders in other countries. We have interviews today, actually. So that's really exciting. So it's coming quickly. We've got a lot of cool things coming on board with that. Before I go to the next slide, pitting any questions? What do you anything, Farron?
Brennan, can you go into the what countries are coming up potentially after Canada, and then a little bit deeper onto that, like 2, 3?
Yeah. So they're right now the approach for international expansion is we're trying to. There's not a specific country per se that we're like, hey, this one has to be next. It's more of, does this person fit what we're looking for in terms of a leader? Do they have the compliance side? Do they have the networking side? Do they have the cultural side? So we're looking for people in those positions in countries that makes sense to move into. And when I say make sense, meaning we can establish a company there. I wouldn't say relatively easy because it won't be easy, but we can start to grow like that. So I don't want to spill the beans on the new countries coming up, because I don't know if we're allowed to share yet. But let's just say it's a very long flight for where we're at in the U.S. So I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, let's move on to the next benefit that was announced. This one I'm super excited about. This is it's called power coaching, right? So we already have Coach Rob Stein, who's our power coach. Every Monday he does stuff, and I think there's other days as well that he goes on and he teaches lead generations, like practical and tangible things that we're going to be using, right? He's really good at it. And what I thought was cool with this opportunity is that now, if you're an agent who loves coaching, who loves pouring into agents, Rob and the team, they're going to enable you to have your own coaching platform for pennies on the dollar. So I want to say it was a 400 something a month, 300 something a month, I want to say, for signing up. And then there's like one-time initiation fee to get everything set up. But you have all sorts of things going on, and you can check it out at powercoach.io. I'm not going to pull up all the slides right now, but I'll let you guys go. You can always reach out to me or Farron if you have any questions. But so many cool things going on. You got sales funnels, you've got IDX websites, you've got coaching, you've got a lot of things to enable your coaching platform. So if you're interested in something like that, you can really pour into your community and how you see that. And also our power coaches would be highlighted in our 360 Academy, which is our online training platform. So if there's a particular coach that you like, you can go in and get some of their coaching for free if you're an Epique agent as well. So really, really cool opportunity there.
It is
Stop me,
basically a
guys.
coaching
Yeah.
platform in a box. Like it is ready to go. They're building out your entire
Yep.
funnel to coaching platform to video hosting, um, everything ready to go in a box. All you need to do is show
You just
that you are
record.
capable of coaching, and then
Yeah.
get yourself plugged in. That's it.
Yep. All right, moving on. So this one, introducing a white label by Epic. So I'm going to caveat this one right out the gate of it will depend on the state laws and regulations on whether or not you're able to do this in your state. Colorado, I know Crystal mentioned that she's most likely certain that we'll be able to do it, but we still have to verify that it's doable on the legal side of things, right? I don't know all the details on that end, but here's the cool part about white labeling. You're a boutique brokerage. You love your branding. You love what you're doing, but you're tired of the overhead. You want to take advantage of the amazing benefits. You want to take advantage of revenue share. You want to take advantage of stock. You want to take advantage of where this company is going when we go IPO. There's so many reasons. I can count 93 reasons and more. And the opportunity to like bring in your brokerage and sustain your brokerage, just have us on the back end. This is a cool opportunity for small boutique brokers and maybe potentially medium scale brokerages as well. So that's
The
pretty sweet.
the main way I would think about it is usually local, hyper local brokerages generally already have a community, already have a brand recognition in that local market area. So just
Yep.
imagine, oh, like you saying yes to Epic today, nothing changes on your front end. On Epic's not involved in your branding or anywhere at all. It's all done on the back end. Literally, the very next day you sign up with your agents for Epic, your agents will get 92 benefits and the scale of Epic and national reach, and now soon to be international reach. So it's literally your front end, as it's always been, your brand recognition, your community, and then your agents will get so much more empowered with everything that Epic brings to the table.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the cool part too is like you can have your brokerage and you'll have your agents and whatnot, but then the opportunity to grow, like you said, cross border, cross state, and build something significant for your family because our revenue share is can be passed down to a beneficiary. So if God forbid you get hit by a bus, your kids or your wife or your spouse or whoever can get designated there's a beneficiary, and then that revenue share check will continue to be sent to them, which is crazy. When I think about it, it's an opportunity because it'd be easy for the company to be like, oh, sorry, and now that revenue all goes back to the company, right? But yeah, let's move on. Tap deferment. This one, um, I'm like still blown away in terms of how this is going to work in terms of the details, right? I think everything devil's in the details, of course, right? And some of these benefits are going to be explained in detail further down the road, and everything. But this one I love because we already have a pass through opportunity with Epic. So when I came over to Epic, Farron and I, we were talking, and I was like, hey, I've got two listings, I got one under contract and a new build. So I have like a different situations. And he's like, doesn't matter. If you want to come over now today, you can. You can say, hey, when you do your CDA for that closing, you say, hey, that's the company that's taking their stuff or their split, and then you can keep working. The only caveat is that you wouldn't be able to get any revenue share or not revenue share, stocks or any of the other benefits related to the money. So you're not going to go towards your cap or anything like that. But that's now allows people to actually come over when they want and not be held back by production, right? The cap deferment is just one extra layer on top of that that allows you. I came over, I capped in, I want to say March, April timeframe. I capped with my previous brokerage $15,000. And I was like, you know what? I see the value of this company. I'm moving over anyways. I lost my cap. It would have been really nice if I could go back and have this opportunity
That's what I
to
was
defer
about to
my cap.
say. Yeah,
Yeah,
you asked me about
exactly.
it too. Hey, I just capped in 3 months here. What do I do? Like, but then you saw the value in the company so much that you left the cap behind. Now, if you were coming over today or tomorrow, hey, you're not leaving anything behind.
Yeah, exactly. So details more to come. If again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out, and we'll get questions answered. Benefits at epicrealty.com. If you're an Epic agent, that's my go-to for anything benefit related. So just go there first or give them a call. So, all right. So, oh, my slide got a little jacked up here. Sorry about that. So that's Nashville, gorgeous city, by the way. This one I am super excited about. For those that are, high producers, you're, you're potentially comparing, if you're somewhere else, you're potentially comparing monetary gain, ROI, between the two companies, right? This gives another benefit to the power agent. So in order to be a power agent, you have to have 24 plus transactions or 10 million in volume, right? The key part is that we already get double rev share on your first line, which is huge. And then also your monthly fee goes down to $99. So there's two benefits already there on top of the word recognition and all that great stuff. But now you get double the stock, and we have 6 ways you can earn stock here at the company. I think it's your first transaction, first time you bring in an agent, your annual anniversary, and there's 3 others I can't remember now. I don't know if you remember them all, but nonetheless, you'll get double on all of those, which is phenomenal opportunity to learn more. And also, if you guys want the slide deck, I can email that to you. Just reach out to me and I'll give it to you. It has some links in there so you can actually click around. So moving on, we're going to be looking at Epic Labs division. So when Josh was on stage, he's like, hey, Google Labs, that's a great example. Amazon has their own equivalent. All the forward-leaning companies, all the companies that have been around and are continued to pivot and change and improve what they do, they all have Epic Labs. I want to say the Amazon Alexa wasn't a part of the labs division, right? So when we put that in terms of what Epic is doing, potentially hiring young, innovative, bright minds to just create whatever, right? It could be anything, right? And then eventually that might come to fruition and come in within their revenue streams and then their tech stacks and everything. So when we go IPO, now you're increasing the value of the company and adding another pillar to the company. So
And
this is
also,
going
the
to be
goal
cool.
of Epic Labs is not just to white label existing technology, it is to create transformative technology for the industry.
Yep.
And Brendan and I can go into a couple of those things that are coming up here in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So this one, I was a little blown away when I saw the video. So I apologize. I think I do, but you can't, I was in the back. You can't really see much. So I'm not going to share that. But this right now we have in Epic, our cloud, right? You can go in, you can ask broker related questions. It's called Broker AI. You can start asking questions related to contracts. So if you're up at midnight, you're stressing about a contract, or your clients are stressing about a contract, you want to provide something back to them. And you can go in there and ask questions, and it'll give you, like, based off laws and regulations on your state. And I also did a test. I went and asked a North Carolina question yesterday. I can go in any state. So if I'm curious, or if I have agents that I'm working with and partnering with in other states, we could potentially help them, right? So, and collaborate that way. Epic AI 2.0, the huge highlight here is that 2 of them I'm going to talk about. One is area leaders and brokers will have a AI twin. So you can go in there and talk specifically. So if I can go into mine, talk to my broker, Crystal, and be like, hey, Crystal, I got a question. She's going to have a video, and that video is going to be her, and it's going to be responding to my question, which is really cool. The second part of that is that I'm going to be able to go in there and say, hey, I would like you to draft a listing contract with this information, this addendum. And what it's going to do is going to go do its thing, and it's going to send you an email with the forms. Then you pull them in and you look and go over them. So what are you doing? You're saving time. You're creating opportunities for you to get out and meet people versus being back behind the scenes. It'll potentially free up any TC admin work that's maybe too much. So there's a lot of opportunity here. So
And I feel like it's one thing to mention what it does, but once you experience the transformative difference it does to your business, it's a whole other level of experience. For example, just imagine being in need of broker advice at 2 a.m. Now you can Zoom. Basically, it's like Zooming your broker at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
because they are live on video for you to have a chat
Yep.
with in AI form. And then just imagine leaving a showing. And then on the way home, the client's like, hey, I love this property. Let's make an offer. On the way home, you're talking to our Eric AI and then asking, giving it the property details and client info. And by the time you get home, your contract documents are waiting for you in your inbox. All you got to do is review, submit. That's it.
Yeah.
So
Crazy.
it's just it's one thing to explain and just be like, oh, that's a cool point, but it's a whole other thing to experience. Like I'll just tell a quick 30-second story about my first experience of it's cool to talk about like benefits like, oh, free sign installation and pick up things like that. But one day I remember one of my listings sold other side of the metroplex. And then that whole week was extremely jam-packed on my schedule. And I was sitting at a coffee shop wondering, oh, I got to get this sign taken care of. And I was like, wait a minute, I have free sign pickup and installation. Couple of taps on my phone, done. I didn't have to drive an hour. I didn't have to, wrangle it off the ground, nothing. It's one thing to mention what it does, but it's a whole other level to actually experience it.
Yeah, I agree. It's crazy what opportunities it opens up for you. All right, this one, most agents are likely familiar with this. We're going to have access to Shoami. So the second you book your plane ticket to go to Mexico, you're getting a call. Hey, I would love to start seeing some homes now. I'm ready to buy. Without a doubt, it happens every time we travel, right? So this app here, they've partnered with Epic, and it's going to be free for Epic agents. And I don't know that because I think it's already free for agents to sign up. So what I've understood based on what Josh was telling us at the time was that we'll have an elevated, not an elevated, but additional benefits that you can use. So potential credits or things like that. I don't know the details, so I apologize. We're still 1 week away from what's going on. So as we move forward, these things are going to get refined. They'll be added to the cloud. That way you can go in and click Show Ami and sign up based off of Epic, what they provide. But it's a peace of mind and it's great. So I know it's just not just the normal Show Ami being offered, right? Because any agent can go and sign up for that. There's going to be added benefits to that. So really
Yeah, a
cool.
couple of the added benefits is a whole bunch of new parameters are going to be open to you now with the platinum membership, where you can utilize agents for more than just showings. You can get them to host open houses for you, let in an inspector for you. Um,
There
you
we
know,
go.
yeah, so a whole other list of criteria will open up in a way for you to utilize the app and the services that Xiaomi agents are able to provide for you. And also another one is going to be you're going to be paid faster. If you have a Xiaomi Platinum account and you provide services for another agent through it, you will be paid much faster than an agent having a free account.
Love it. Thank you for that. All right. So this one, I don't know if you guys already do it. I use utilityconnect.net, which is I don't know if that's the platform that they're going to be using, uh, but it's likely similar to where they go in and they're able to facilitate, gas, electric. They're able to give you deals on Wi-Fi and deals on security systems and things like that. So, and it also allows you to give a white glove service to your clients. So when they're moving, you say, hey, you send an email, you have it pre-drafted and your automation with Lofty, and as soon as you're a week out from closing or something to that effect, or if you're a buyer, you send it maybe sooner and you connect them and they get taken care of. And what that does is that gives a really good feeling experience for the buyers and sellers that are directly tied to you. So they have every time they're like, man, like all these cool services and all these cool benefits that we're able to provide our clients, right? It's you can obviously do this on your own, right? But now you're allowing a company that does this all day to do it well, do it timely, and it really shows. My clients absolutely love my Utility Connect. They're like, man, I got a great deal. They did everything for me. It was fantastic. Thank you very much for that. So really cool opportunity. I'll let you chime in if you got anything to add on that one.
Yeah, so one thing to also note is that this is an additional bullet point of your list of services you provide your client. You also provide a utility concierge service. So if anything, on top of all the rest of the benefits when it comes to actually utility connection, and this service actually going to be paying for our rev share plus as well, is going to be just an additional like bullet point on your behalf. Why should a client choose you? If somebody else has, five things that they do, or all they do is just write offers for clients. And with you, it's another way for you to stand out with the number of benefits that Epic already provides for you at no additional cost. And you just simply passing that on to your client. It's just going to be padding your resume in a way.
Yep, absolutely. All right. All right. This one, I love Redo by Base. I think not a lot of agents are actually using this right now. So what Redo powered by Base, what they do is basically you have to have a 3D tour or photos and a 2D plan. And you need to send that to them, and they basically reconstruct a digital version of the home, but it's interactive. So I can zoom in, I can go in the kitchen, I'd be like, okay, I love this home, but I want to change the cabinets. I want to change them to granite and I want them to be white, and I want to look at the walls. Like, I don't like the white walls. Let's change those to bright pink or whatever your color is, right? Um, so that's one thing you can visualize, right? So when you have a listing, you can provide that to potential buyers. But you could also have, what is cool is that you can also actually get that work done. So you're like, I want to buy this home. I don't want to come in and do anything. I want it done when I close. So you can actually say, hey, I want the granite countertops put in. I want cabinets. I want the walls painted, right? They get a quote to you. They send it. Everything's good to go. That'll close. Obviously the closing time frames matter, but they'll be able to get everything sorted, and it doesn't come out of, if you're a seller, you can do it in advance of listing a property. Or if you're just you just want to do it, you want to use the product. So there's a lot of different ways you can use this. The cool part for Epic agents that they announce is that now that you're going to be able to base any property, you're going to get revenue share based on those bases. So if you're the first one to submit a base, then you're the one that potentially gets the revenue share if someone decides to utilize the program at any point in time, which is cool, right?
I also
All
had a
right.
chat with the rep, and I asked him for the practical applicability of it. So the way it kind of works is, if you're for example, if you're representing the seller and you want to use this tool with the seller, the way it's going to work is that it's a property that needs some work, but the seller doesn't want to do the work. What if the buyer doesn't like the wall colors they chose or the countertops they chose? The beauty of this is you get an extra sign to put in front of the property that's going to say this home is available for customizing, and a bunch of QR codes on the inside as well. You do basically, before you list the property, just scan through the property with your phone, and it's going to be in the virtual world available for customization. The buyer will scan it. Once they scan it, the home as is appears on that website, and then you go through, pick your pick options to your heart's content: wall colors, counters, cabinets, bathrooms, whatever you want. And the beauty is, the base team will then work with the buyer and their mortgage officer and calculate an amount and the repair amount that's going to be needed. And it's going to be rolled into the mortgage, and it's going to be held in, whether if it's going to be happening after closing, the amount's going to be held in an escrow account. Again, it's all going to be done extremely seamlessly, and it's going to make it like extremely easy on the seller, because he's now not risking a whole bunch of money on something that a buyer may or may not like.
Yep. Huge. All right. Let's see here. All right. Epic Elevate. All right. So this one I'm not too familiar with in terms of the details. From what I understand, it's a way to um, continue to keep touch points with your clients, and keep client retention. You're going to have a post-close dashboard. So I'm checking like any home maintenance, the value, and everything like that. Is this the one with home amp or house amp? I
It
don't
might
remember.
be the main thing that I took away from this one is that it is where you're like anyone basically can utilize the property in like a virtual dashboard, and you can even borrow against your asset as your property, and the amount that was provided at the conference was $250,000, is the cap for the limit that you can take out. You can manage your property, maintain your property, um, maintain the finances of your property, all in a virtual dashboard.
Yeah, I think it's literally considered to like maybe potentially fellow or homebot. Homebot might be a good example of that, but I think this takes it to another level in terms of you have other. It's not just financial asset, because I know homebot has like short-term rental stuff and like that, but I think this will take it to a whole new level so you can manage your clients effectively post transaction, because I think a lot of us are guilty of dropping the ball once we close. You might send a card, we might send a gift, we might do one or two things, right? But I think we're lacking in terms of that full follow-up, taking care of them, because that's where your referrals come from at the end of the day, right? Your past clients, your sphere of influence. This is going to allow you to really dig into that and establish a stronghold point on, for lack of better terms, with your past clients. So yeah. All right. This one, when I heard this the first time, I was like, holy crap, this is incredible, right? I don't know how many times I've had conversations with agents about like not potentially being able to actually become an agent who would be great agents, or current agents that are, they have a mom or dad that's sick, right? Their dog's at the vet, or their kids are at home for summer camp and they need help, right? This allows us to, one, Epic pays for the free membership, and then they give you a $250 annual credit for childcare, elder care, pet sitting, or tutoring. And you can also, what we found out is that they also have home cleaning services. So one of the agents that was at the conference, he's like, as we were sitting there, the QR code came up. I signed up. I sent it to my wife. I said, hey, $250 of cleaning or whatever you want, take it, right? So a lot of times one of the spouses is gone at a conference, or we're traveling, and we don't always have time to do the little things that matter for the rest of the family. So this is a cool opportunity to take care of your family, ensure that your what really matters is taken care of at the end of the day. So all right. 24/7 roadside assistance. I just had a flat 3 days ago when I got back from the conference. I did, I did have to
Literally on the
sign up
way
for
from the
this.
airport, right?
Yeah, no, it wasn't on the way from the airport. I landed and I had to go show some homes as soon as I landed, and I got a flat. And luckily, I have amazing clients because they, I hopped in their car and we just went out and showed for the rest of the day. So it didn't ruin the showings. But if I had already signed up and we had this enabled, I could have had this going. We could have been looking at homes, and then they came by and swapped my tires out, and bam. Unlimited vehicles. That's a huge part. It's not just the agent. So that agent's vehicle. So the whole family can have all their vehicles covered, nationwide service, emergency service. It's a real peace of mind, and a great thing to have. You don't join a brokerage for roadside assistance, but it's really nice to have when you have it, right? So it's one more thing that you don't have to pay for. Yeah. All right. We're creeping up towards the end. All right. So bear with us. Bear with us. We're almost 50 minutes in. So Epic Essentials daily training. So this is a little different than, we already have live training. We have previous recorded training, every single
We have
benefit.
Power
Uh,
Academy.
yeah, Power Academies, Sarhant way, like method, or Sarhant
You
course,
sell it like Sirhan. Yep.
seller like Sarhant. Thank you.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of coaching and a lot of great things going on with the Epic training wise. So new agents come in and like you can watch videos to your heart desires, right? This part here, it's a real great opportunity to dive into a unique topic that you have the ability to actually communicate back and forth with you. So you can raise your hand on the Zoom. You can say, hey, I've got a question. What about this or that? Like, I want to farm my local neighborhood. I'm having trouble with postcards. What are you guys doing? What are you using? So now you're learning from top producers. You're learning from agents that have perfected certain ways. So we have an agent in the company who's amazing at FISBOs. They might hop on and teach you how to like really navigate the FISBO market. and things like that. So, and it goes in like Freedom Friday. We're not just talking about, how to generate leads. We're talking about how to protect your financial assets, how to, in terms of, what do you do? Once you get money, what are you doing? Like, how are you doing these things? How are you implementing it back into your company?
How do you make
Revenue share,
generational
like,
wealth?
yeah, generational wealth. The revenue share piece is huge, right? All 5 levels are open for everyone at 10%. And no other company's doing that, right? And then you double that revenue share on the first tier. If you're a power producer, if you're an area leader, you get triple now. Like, so there's so many different revenue streams, which is cool. But you can take a look here. The whole schedule is at epic.cloud/schedule. So feel free to take a look. And then I'm really, really excited about this and where the company's going. For me, switching a company at first early in my career, I was like, why does everybody switch and change companies? And then someone's like, hey, your company is like a telephone provider. If they're not providing you what you need to pick up the phone, maybe I need to call Canada, for example, right? And it's going to charge me. I'm not going to stay with that company. I'm switching companies because I need something that aligns with what I need. That is huge for me at Epique Realty. We decided to jump right into the deep end. I had capped already, so a lot of reasons why I could have said, "Oh, I don't want to do it right now." But anyway, the long-term vision of the company is going to be great because they're not just doing, obviously they're going to IPO next year. They're looking at creating a merger and acquisition strategy, so potentially acquiring other companies. And what does that do to the stock? That increases value. That increases retainability for clients, or not clients, but agents. So staying with the company because there's a long-term strategy, right? And I know all the companies have their long-term strategy, but what they're doing, the different pillars that they're allowing for agents to generate wealth, right? Just for one example, the owners could have made a lot of money on our conference, but they made it free for everyone. Everyone who was an agent could come to the conference for free, right? I would have easily paid $200, $300, $400, $500 to go to the conference because of the value you get there. But for them to say, no, we won't take that from the agents. We want them to come willingly and not have to pay anything. That shows what type of leadership we're under and where the company is going. So we're going to be reverse IPO, similar to what EXP did. So they led the way. They pioneered the cloud brokerage, but it's time for a change. We need to look at what are we doing, right? So there's going to be B2B businesses, B2C businesses. There's going to be AI integrated, obviously already, but even more. There's going to be real estate technology being implemented. There's going to be
Epic Labs.
financial technology implemented. So there's a lot of different things that you can, level up with Epic. And then, so now for me, it's like, hey, I want to earn as much stock as I can before we go IPO, because that is true potential, future tangible monetary gain for my family and I. So anyway, I won't beat a dead horse on that one. We will move on. So actually, that is it for the slides. That's everything we had. And I know we kind of breezed through some of those a little fast, but this was just to give you an idea of what's going on. And let me caveat that these are just the 20 benefits that were announced last week. We already have 72 other benefits. So free healthcare and vision and prescriptions and free listing,
photography is
free
big.
photography. You get free listing billboard, free personal billboard, free car wash. Like there's a lot. And I'm just going to touch on the sustainability of the company. How are they actually able to implement all these benefits? When they first came out, do you remember the date? I always forget the year that day. Was it 2019? I can't remember. Hold on one second. So
I think
Elizabeth,
there were multiple
hey,
dates
no more
because at
AAA
one point,
membership here. So yes, you
at
rock as
one
well,
point,
Elizabeth. Yeah,
the company was just going to be local and regional. So I know there was multiple
right.
start dates because there was one other day that they decided to go national. So
Yeah. So but the idea was, hey, if we're able to be profitable with a small agent count. I think they started with maybe 15 benefits. And then as they start to add, they negotiate with these companies and say, hey, we're here right now, but this is our trajectory. As we grow, they're going to continue. For example, the car wash. I think they pay like $1 or $2 per car wash, right? If I went, it'd be like $10 to $30, whatever it is in your area, right? So they're able to provide that value to us at a reduced cost. So now I'm saving $10 to $30, right? But they're only paying $1. And as we scale, right, I'm guessing that price per agent will go down. So it gives room for more opportunity to add more benefits. They were joking around. They were like, well, I don't think they were joking, but they're like, yeah, we're really close to 100, and 100 sounds like a really nice number. So I'm sure we'll be at 100 benefits soon, which is crazy to hear. But the sustainability is that they're truly giving back to the agents, and that just is a win for everyone. It's a snowball. So if you guys have any questions, one on the left, I can't know if it's my left or your left, but the schedule a call QR code, you can hop on my Zoom and we can schedule a call at any point in time. So the other one is my contact card. Scan the QR code so we can connect. That's my digital business card. I know Farron, I don't know if you had your information on there as well, but you can reach out to me or Farron anytime. We're both on social media. But that is all I have for today. Unless there's any questions, let me make sure I didn't miss anything. We go, oh, nice. I saw this earlier, but I didn't pop it up as Trey was talking. But Ben, nice to have you. He's in Canada in the greater Toronto area. So if you got any clients in Toronto, send them to Ben. Let's see here. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Farron Pereira. So there's his number. If you guys have any questions, he's in the DFW Metroplex area. I'm in Colorado Springs, Colorado. We are excited to share a lot of these new updates and really where we're going. So yeah, I think we'll stop it on that unless you have anything to add.
No, I think also the way we build is very, very collaborative. If you guys are wanting to join Epic and after experiencing all the benefits for production, if you want to get into revenue share, Brandon and I, we have a pretty unique strategy on how we're building it and how we support each other within the network. And uniquely, Epic's rev share model gives us the opportunity instead of being, adding to the me noise. Pivoting to the more collaborative approach, which is going to be more sustainable long term, and it's a win for more people than one. So I think that's something that I enjoy greatly within our network.
Yeah. So if you guys enjoyed this, make sure you like, subscribe, and then post a comment on what your favorite benefit was that you saw. And yeah, we'll chat soon. Thank you guys for coming, and I'm in the stream.
Have a great